You need to hear this if you're a paranormal enthusiast. Ready to dive into the unknown? Join the Tristan channel as we journey through spine-tingling paranormal encounters, unexplained supernatural phenomena, and perhaps some eye-popping UFO sightings. Our world is full of mysteries, and together we'll explore the eerie, the bizarre, and the downright unexplainable. From haunted houses to cryptic creatures, we'll react to the most chilling and baffling compilations. So if you're ready to test your courage and expand your mind, hit that subscribe button and let's unravel the unknown together. Welcome to the adventure. Welcome to the Tristan channel.
Hello, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the Tristan channel, or welcome back if you've already subscribed. In this video, we'll be reacting to a new channel that popped up on my feed. It's called Abysmal Detective, or The Abysmal Detective. Now, FYI, I did record a reaction to another one of their videos the other night, but unfortunately it didn't record all of it, because apparently I didn't have enough memory on my phone, so I only got 30 minutes of it, which is mental, because I thought I had it on there, and then when I uploaded it to YouTube, I was like, hang on a second, that's only like 31 minutes, what's happened there? So anyway, hopefully, touch wood, it'll record properly this time, and we'll get a proper recording. So, this is Abysmal Detective, and this is the most disturbing things ever caught on live stream. Now, from what I saw, the other one I reacted to, they were clips and stories like crime cases and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what this one's going to be about. But they're not just footage of, from the last one I reacted to, it wasn't any footage of like clips and stuff like ghosts and, you know what I mean? It was more like telling of an event or whatever. But anyway, we'll see how this one goes. So, let's check it out.
These are the worst things to get caught on live stream in the form of an iceberg. We'll start with the more strange, and as the video progresses, the footage will become increasingly terrifying and horrific.
Yeah, so like he does like stage one, so that say, ooh.
I made this iceberg myself, and it delves into the worst incidents ever captured on a live stream. Viewer discretion is highly advised. Level 1.
Let's go.
Kai Cenat New York riot. In August 2023, popular Twitch streamer Kai Cenat organized a video game console giveaway in New York City's Union Square, promising that a handful of people would win a PlayStation 5. Of course, that was too good of an offer to turn up for many of his followers. So when the big giveaway day arrived, Kai found himself surrounded by thousands and thousands of his followers.
Don't hate me, I'm not a big fan of PlayStation.
All of whom
used to be I grew up with PS, but there wasn't enough games for it, so I had a PS2, and during the time of PS2, you had like the Xbox 360 came out, and every time I used to go to Choices or Blockbusters, I just see this massive library of Xbox games, and I felt like I was missing out on so much. So I kind of felt shit. You know, you didn't get much games for PS. It was, I just didn't like it. So now I've got an Xbox One. So yeah, I'm glad I went to Xbox and never looked back, to be fair, because it's like so many games for it, and Games Pass. It's like, and the thing is, you know, I'm not into this fan war bullshit, not, you know, stuff, but it was quite funny because people used to go, "Look what I got on the internet," and I was like, "Oh, that's funny. I got those games free." So some of the games that people spent 60 quid on, and then they spent not for 60 quid, you know what I mean, like $50 or so, and they had to pay extra money to play out on their system. I'm like, well, fuck, it's like I don't need that shit. I got it for free on Games Pass. But I said it. Yeah. If you like PS, I'm fine. I got nothing against it. It's just not for me.
Were desperate to win, but the chaos was so extreme that Union Square became totally chaotic. The NYPD deployed 1,000 officers to try and control the chaos, but the arrival of the authorities just riled the crowd up even more. Within minutes, Kai's fans began a violent riot, throwing objects at the police, climbing on vehicles, and setting off fire extinguishers to create even more confusion. By the time Kai left the scene, he had a bunch of fans hanging onto his car. 65 people were ultimately arrested at the riot. 30 of them were juvenile offenders. And Sanat himself was taken into police custody, facing charges of inciting a riot and unlawful assembly. But for Kai Sanat, the whole thing resolved itself pretty nicely. By May 2024, when he finally faced the consequences, the judge decided that there was no value in prosecuting him. Instead, it would be better for him to pay $55,000 in restitution and issue a public apology online where all of his fans could see it. Rob CD.
Or buy them all with PlayStation.
In 2020, Rob CD, an Australian Twitch streamer living in Tokyo, was doing one of his usual streams. He was out in the city, hanging with his friends and with locals, taking in the sights. But then something strange happened. Out of nowhere, a Moroccan woman passed by looking extremely distressed and uncomfortable as she spoke with a guy. When she finally reached Rob and his crew, she told a man who was with her that she was with her friend, suggesting that he go somewhere else. That was when Rob realized she was being followed by this creepy guy, and he had to help. Rob played along without a second thought, greeting the woman as though they had been friends forever. He even spoke with the stalker, having a little chat before sending him off on his way. It turned out that this guy had followed the girl for 2 days, leaving her with a deep feeling of unease and concern for her safety as a tourist in Japan. But
see, this may not have ghost stuff, but I tell you what, from the last one actually came with a warning. I had to confirm it and had to watch it, and I put a little warning on the edit. But yes, it's like some of these you watch, and tell you what, compared to a lot of people you see on these videos, especially like the creepy bastard like that, you kind of think to yourself, do you know what? I think I'll take my chances in a haunted house. You know what I mean? It's like Casper. I was watching a video today, and he's like, it's funny though. Pardon me. People get scratched, sure, possibly if that stuff's genuine, but when ghosts threaten you, or if you notice it in these investigators, they get threatened, etc. But no one actually gets harmed. You hear some about people getting pushed, yeah, but we haven't seen it. But on average, mostly it shows that, yeah, they go, you must leave now, or or harm you, or all these spirit boxes, but no harm, nothing happens. I think personally that could be down to put their try and play on your fear, if it's legit. But it's like humans are 10 times more dangerous and scary. I mean, at least if like I say, the occult stuff where it's like salt and various things that can protect you. Those things, a lot of these things won't protect. A lot of the spiritual stuff won't protect you from a weirdo bastard who's going to do horrible things to you. So it's like humans are way more scary and dangerous than ghosts. You know what I mean? So I don't poke the universe with a stick. Actually, I'm going to prove you wrong. No, don't prove me wrong.
Rob's quick thinking likely ended up saving this girl's life. And
Yeah,
his
well
ability
done,
to
mate.
handle the
Well
situation without any drama or escalation made him a hero to his many followers. In fact, this is such a common thing for him that he's now forever known as the Angel of Shibuya. Playmate Tessie. January 2021. Twitch streamer Maya West, also known as Playmate Tessie, is streaming as per usual. But instead of playing games, she's hanging out on the video chat website Omegle, joking and chatting with the total strangers that happen to appear on her screen. But then came a girl with a serious, serious medical condition.
Cool, there's Cherry.
Leukemia.
Oh,
Maya's instinctive response was to mock her.
You're fat, you're ugly, you look deformed, you're poor, and you have cancer and no hair.
What an evil bitch. Excuse my language. How dare you? You're... See, here's the thing, you see. I'll let you a little secret, right? Because I've got family, and I've got relatives and stuff, and I've got friends who I do love. Don't get me wrong, I love them with my heart. But it's just me and my mum at the moment. And people say to me, oh, when you get old, things like that. And to be fair, I've said to a lot of people, and I'm going to say to you now, you know, heaven forbid, but when it is the time, and you know, my mum's no longer here with me, it's like, because she's the only reason why I'm gone to jail at work. You know what I mean? Like, because you know, you get people like this. I have to work with people like this, but not so extreme. But you know what I mean? Well, don't mean staff wise. I mean like customers and stuff. But it's like, this sort of sick shit is going on, especially now in America, all kinds of stuff, and other places, you know, where minorities getting attacked. But you get some ugly people, and it's all this ugliness and shit in this world that makes you think, do I really want to be here when that time comes? It's like, seriously? I mean, it's a bit an easy way out, but seriously? I mean, I'll probably end up in prison. You know what I mean? I'll be like going, I'm going to go out with a bang. You know what I mean? I'm going to go full on Thanos with this. You know what I mean? You know, it sounds joking, but you know what I mean? It's like, fucking hell. I'm fed up with how ugly this world is. It's like we've had so much. It's like you know what I mean? It's like we had sorry to go on, but we had a peak, right, where we had the pandemic. Regardless of the bullshit, right? Let's just take a moment. Regardless if people were genuine or not, that moment where everyone was together in solidarity, supporting each other, doing positive things to keep everyone sane during a pandemic, that felt good, didn't it, folks? That felt really good. You don't do that. The thing is, when that pandemic ended, right? Not all of you, but I mean, but the people went back to being shitty again. I'm sorry. You don't be nice to other people on special fucking occasions. That very gratifying, that stabilizing emotion that you had, that feel-good emotion that you had, you could be maintaining that until the day you die if you just keep it. If everyone, you know, and it could happen if all those people like the same thing. It's like, oh, that felt good. Like, great. Just don't suddenly stop. Keep it up. And that stranger down the road who you thought, oh my God, and you connect with them, it's like, oh my God, this is great. It's actually great working together. It's great sharing the love with everyone else on the fucking planet. You know what I mean? And so we had that, and we've been through so much shit, haven't we? And now, look at the ugliness and the hate and the shit of the world today. It's like, come on, folks, let's turn this around. Because otherwise, the thing is also, right, forget about me. You've got people who are still having kids in this day and age now. Still having babies. What kind of world are we bringing them into? A world full of hate and ugliness. Come on, people, we can turn it around. Not just for special occasions or when there's a pandemic. Surely that showed you what it'd be like in a sort of worst case scenario, or a situation where it's shit. You know what I mean? Locked up. Do you know what I mean? There are people today who are not. We haven't got pandemic, and there's people today who are too scared to leave the house because they're LGBT or they're of a different skin colour. They shouldn't be feeling that. And what the fuck? You're ugly. People. I hate people who are ugly. I hate ugly people. I tell you what. The person who's got cancer is not ugly. She's ugly. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it's like I can't remember what proverb it's from. It's a Chinese saying. I think it's from Lei Su, one of his stories, about two maids, why he married the ugly one and not the beautiful one. It's because you can have someone who looks beautiful on the outside, but rotten, like an apple. Beautiful in it. Don't go dark on me. Beautiful on the outside, but rotten in the core. And it's like, really?
And your wig's crooked, by the way. Fix that.
She made endless rude and derogatory comments about her appearance, calling her fat and ugly, even going so far as to threaten to sue her and take away her treatment funds. The whole stream was such an unimaginable disaster that her followers rejected her overwhelmingly for her horrific, narcissistic, and cruel treatment of an innocent person. Overnight, she...
Says the one wearing a fuck ton of makeup.
lost thousands of followers, earning herself unending aggression on social media by people who thought she was cruel and insensitive.
Good.
And as if
Karma,
all of
bitch.
this was not bad enough, just 2 weeks later, she fell asleep during her live stream while her dad and sister were arguing and yelling about a lot of personal details. Well, all of her outraged fans went and found her dad's workplace, sending in the clips of her making comments about people with cancer and costing her dad his job.
Oh, fuck.
By the time she was back on stream, her dad sent...
Okay, that's a bit much, because at the end... Oh, fucking hell. I don't know what to say on that. I mean, that's a bit unfair on him. There's so many layers to that. I mean, is it because he did... I mean, yeah, he is responsible for... If she's living under the roof and all that sort of stuff, and depending how old she is, she's his responsibility, and it's kind of like, you brought up a daughter like that kind of thing. You know, I don't know. You know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at. There's so many layers to that. I don't think it's... Oh, it's a bit unfair that you got sacked. That's a bit much. See, I thought what he was going to do is, because there's one bully, right? Similar sort of thing. And basically, was it? I know it was somewhere public, but the parent was so pissed off with their own child for being such a twat that they took some hair clippers and literally shaved their head off in public. Bit extreme, but you know, something would be extreme. But seriously, that's just nasty. I mean, the thing is, right, that person may be suffering from cancer and fighting for their lives. But just like all cyberbullying, that bullying that girl did has profound effects. That could have put an end to that fight. That could have made the person who had cancer kill himself. All kinds of nasty things. It's like, what?
A very clear message.
I need you at my house. I'm gonna be home in an hour. You better not be there.
I'm trying to delete. I can't delete it.
I don't know. You should have never added on.
I was sleeping. I didn't know you were screaming.
He wanted her out of his house, disgusted that she would do such a thing in front of the world. And of course, she reacted in her usual spoiled brat way, reporting him to the police for alleged abuse.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
In a single stream, Maya basically ruined her entire streaming career and her life forced to stream from a crappy hotel room while her dad ripped her to pieces. Zillion OP.
Isn't there... Isn't there like not youth facility, correctional facility, there's some sort of facilities they send brats like that, don't they? Well, they close them down. I'm showing my age. There used to be like not a glass house, but you know what I mean, some place where you can send. Because I'm pretty sure that's some sort of a crime. You know what I mean? These days that would be a crime because they come down cyberbullying. You know what I mean? It's like, but there's a boot camp or something. You send sport brats to, innit, or something like that.
Fake disability. Early days of Twitch, Zillion OP was an extremely...
I'm sorry about that, but things like that make me angry, because it's like, that's just not on.
...promising streamer. His World of Warcraft streams would draw thousands and thousands of viewers, many of whom admired him personally for the hardships he had faced. Zillion OP was paralyzed from the waist down thanks to a brutal and severe car crash. He had always streamed in a wheelchair, which is why it was so surprising when on April 5th, 2013, during a stream with his girlfriend, he said he had to go AFK and, thinking he had swapped his overlays, he stood up from his wheelchair and walked out of frame, only to immediately realize his mistake.
Oh, it's a miracle! He can walk! Fucking twat.
But when he came back to tilt the camera down, the damage was done. The viewers were stunned, immediately calling him out in the chat over what they had just witnessed.
It's twats like him that gives people with genuine disabilities a bad name and why they're coming down on things like PIP and disabilities. Because I hate to say this, and don't hate me for this, but there are some genuine cases out there. And it's also, oddly enough, that in a crowd in the UK, we have people going, all these... You get these skinheads who go, oh, all these people like in, well, you know, not skinheads, you know, people the EDL sort of EDL posse, right? They got all these immigrants stealing our jobs. Those people are sat on their arse doing F all, claiming dole, and they're perfectly fine to go to work. And it's people like them and people like that who fake conditions that give people with genuine disabilities a bad name, and it's why the government's come down on it, apart from being greedy as well, because it's like, and it's because they're being greedy. Okay, I'm not defending the government, but this sort of shit doesn't help. This is why you get people say. This is why you get people saying it's not just the media. People go around saying scroungers and shit because there are people who do take a piss with it, generally do, and they ruin it for everyone else.
Shortly after, Zillion and his girlfriend tried to explain the situation, claiming that Zillion had fallen while trying to stop his dog messing with his computer cables.
Yeah, sure.
It made absolutely no sense to anybody, especially since the camera caught the reflection of a fish tank, clearly showing him standing up and walking away. The scandal went viral, forcing Twitch to permanently ban Zillion from the platform for fraudulent practices. In total, it's believed he had received around $20,000 in donations, all because he pretended that he could not walk. Jake and Bake.
Interesting thing about that, right? There is a bit of a double-edged sword, right? It's not... I'm not sure it's like in America, but in the UK... if you're on disabilities, but you're trying your best to contribute to society. So I've got a friend who makes jewellery, right? Which is perfectly okay. And I think there's like I think they were saying years ago, or someone was telling me I think they might have told me years ago or something like that. It's perfectly allowed, because obviously you don't get much on benefits these days with things going up as well, prices and that. You have to get money from somewhere. And I think it's perfectly acceptable as long as you're not earning X amount a year. So if you were to do what he did in the UK, even if you were, say, genuinely disabled, you could essentially have your benefits cut or reduced because you're making money, you're making profit, and they don't like that because it's like, well, why should we give you money if you can live off? You know what I mean? Pardon me. If you're say for example you got 20 grand a month, or just over 2 months, they're like, why the fuck are we giving you money? You know what I mean? So, even if you are genuinely disabled, I'd be a bit careful of that. Certain countries, like UK. However, that being said, there might be a loophole in it in the sense. Actually, if it goes to your bank, do you pay tax? Because there might be a loophole if you're still paying tax. If the government makes something from it, it's like recently now, for silly reasons, it's like apparently they want to charge if you're on Etsy or stuff like that. The government want the cuts from it, even though you're an independent business off the system, right? So to speak. They want a piece of it now. So it's kind of like, yeah. So I'm not sure how that's going to work, in effect anyway. So I would say if you are going to make a living off of YouTube and you're genuinely disabled, I would look into that. Depending on where you live, what part of the world you live, because obviously laws are different, and just see if that affects you. Because, like I said, if you're making any... It's basically like it's not benefit fraud, but it's like because benefit fraud's like you say to you basically like this guy, except you're actually going out and making money on a job somewhere. If you are disabled and you're making money, I think that's all right as long as it doesn't cross a certain capita per year or whatever. If it's not enough for them to go, it's all right, it's just a little bit of money, hobby on the side. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's probably best to look into that, investigate the law around that and stuff. Only because, there's nothing wrong making profit off of YouTube, making a living from it. But if you are disabled, just look into whether that or not that affects your money coming in, whatever.
Twitch streamer Jake and Bake was in the middle of a late-night stream in Korea discussing his equipment setup while standing outside of a kebab shop when he noticed an uncomfortable
Kebab.
and clearly distressed young woman rushing past with a man. It was something that Jake had seen before on other streams. When she spotted that Jake was in the middle of a live stream to thousands of people, she immediately made a beeline to him, pulling the "Sorry, I'm here with my friend" card with him. It was pretty obvious to Jake that she did not know nor want to know this man. She was being followed against her wishes.
Oh, like the other guy.
So, Jake did what he had to do, playing along and talking to her as though they had always known her, encouraging the stalker to just keep walking and leave her alone. Of course, they had never met before, but Jake knew that she needed help to escape what could have been a seriously dangerous situation.
Get a job.
The woman thanked him the minute that the guy left, admitting that she had felt like she was in serious danger. Jake had done a very good thing, potentially saving this woman from a pretty grim fate.
Nice one, son.
Level
Nice
2.
One.
Mr. Big. On October 1st, 2015,
That's what she said.
Mr. Big was live streaming on Twitch when he had a sudden and strange knock at the door, despite it being around 11:30 p.m. It was the police. Apparently, there had been a noise complaint reported at Mr. Big's house, but he did not believe he had done anything wrong and had no interest in complying with the incident. He totally refused to provide his name to the responding officer. Of course, that wasn't received well. The officer had a job to do and was determined to do it no matter what. After a long discussion about his right...
Hang on. Isn't there... I'm only going off videos where... Because there's a lawyer who goes round intercepting bits where people get targeted, whatever. It's like, I'm pretty sure there are laws and stuff they have to follow, or procedures, sorry. Because unless, of course, you've done something wrong and there's evidence to say otherwise, you know what I mean? It's like, you don't have to give your name. It's not a legal requirement as such. You know what I mean?
As a citizen, Mr. Big was arrested and escorted out of the apartment. But shortly after Mr. Big's arrest, a burglar took advantage of Mr. Big's arrest and the unlocked door, stealing
Sod's law.
as much as he wanted. Nike Air Jordans, a gaming headset, a wallet, and a cell phone. Unfortunately, the arrest had happened during a live stream, so the entire thing was captured live on camera, and the viewers promptly reported the incident to the police. It turned out that the burglar was Mr. Big's own neighbor, who was arrested and charged with felony offenses. All of Mr. Big's stolen property was returned. Dum Dum G's Dine and Dash. It was October 24th, 2024, and Kick streamer Dum Dum G's was taking part in a contest organized by a fellow streamer. The best date stream would win $50,000. So Dum Dum decided he would take a homeless woman on a date to a classy restaurant. The whole date was streamed with Dum Dum and the woman ordering all the food that they wanted on the assumption that Dum Dum would be paying. But when the bill...
Not be afraid, sorry to interrupt you, but... if the YouTuber is wealthy or got a lot of money and it's from his channel, then fair enough. But I don't. But the ones who have already got money, I don't get why they're doing YouTube and getting more money. I just don't get it. I know it's because they want money, of course. I know that. But you know what I mean? It's like that's a bit bizarre. It's like usually people want to make a YouTube career because they want to get out of their job and all kinds of things and just have a better, do something they enjoy, etc. And you know what I mean? It's like I just find it bizarre.
Bill finally came. Dum Dum claimed he left his wallet in the car and fled the restaurant.
I think I left my wallet in my car. I'll be right back. All right.
Oh, what a douche.
My name's ATM, Nari. Thank you.
Hopping into a rideshare vehicle while Mabel was still in the restaurant. Dum Dum kept the stream running while he dined and dashed, leaving the homeless woman with the challenge of finding a way to pay the bill. But at this point, the stream had already gone viral, outraging pretty much everybody who saw it. Dum Dum's exploitation of the homeless woman touched a serious nerve, with many people calling for his total ban from every single platform. And the co-founder of Kik agreed, permanently banning Dum Dum and offering a $50,000 reward to anyone who could help him connect with the homeless woman to make it right. But Dum Dum now faced a serious challenge, saving his streaming career. When he finally came to discuss the problem, he claimed that the whole thing was scripted and that the homeless woman was in on it from the beginning.
Yeah, sure. She was in on it from the beginning. I'm pretty sure she had a fun time explaining it to the cops when the restaurant called him because she wouldn't pay up and all that sort of shit. Although his name does fit the bill, Dum Dum. He is a dum dum, isn't he?
But it didn't stop the outrage whatsoever. Ice Poseidon's run-in with a mob gangster. Live streamer Ice...
See what I mean? People worse than Ghost, man.
Poseidon was in the middle of an IRL stream at an Italian restaurant in Los Angeles when he was suddenly confronted by an irate man claiming to be the owner of the restaurant and a member of the local mafia. He told ICE that many of the other customers had complained about him, warning him that the sooner he left, the better. It was an ominous warning, one that his followers urged him to take seriously.
I'm getting about 30 calls about you on my phone, and I'm a gangster. So you better leave here right now before there's trouble with yourself. You understand that? You're the mob over here. You better leave now. Got it?
So Ice promptly left the restaurant. His curiosity got the better of him. A little while later, he went back to the restaurant to understand what the complaints had been. And much to his confusion, he discovered that the guy who threatened him was not the owner. Actually, he was just a delivery guy who wasn't even working at the restaurant at the time he had threatened Ice. In fact, the real owner had to tell Ice that the guy almost definitely had just exaggerated or entirely made up any ties to the mafia. At no point had Ice ever been in any danger, nor had any complaints been made about his behavior. This was simply some guy who wanted to make an impression on the stream.
I'm sorry, it's a complete dickish thing to do, but I mean, it's a dickish thing to do, but isn't that kind of like one of the... Nah, I know it's a dickish thing to do, but I just think it's a prank. If it was a prank, then, you know what I mean, but nah.
And he definitely did that. Pokimane fires her editor. During one of her Twitch streams, Pokimane started to recall an incident in which she had to fire one of her video editors for an insanely inappropriate and disturbing reason. The editor was consistently missing deadlines, often delivering videos a week or two late. When she confronted him about the delays and demanded an...
Do it yourself. Do it yourself. I mean, not all of us have the benefit of having people we go to edit stuff, but... You know, so my stuff may not be the creme de la creme, but I edit all my stuff and I do it on my phone. I don't have much to work with. I'm not mint. I don't have a lot of money and stuff. I mean, but I kind of, I don't know. I know there's all different situations in life, but I just, I don't have a problem with people having your own editors. If you've got to a point now where you can do that, then fair enough. But that always irks me because, like, you know, I mean, people are busting their ass to try and get successful on YouTube, and people have got editors and shit. It's like, what the fuck? Nothing wrong with that. Just, you know, it's just my personal thing. It's like, you know what I mean?
Explanation. He told her a little too much.
Hey, do you have time to talk? I'm ready to finally tell you why I've been struggling so much with deadlines. And I said, oh, like, great. Hopefully this is something that we can fix. Tell me why he proceeds to tell me that the reason why he would sometimes turn around videos a week or two late is because he couldn't stop touching himself.
He admitted that he couldn't meet the deadlines because he couldn't stop touching himself. Pokimane clarified that the editor never said it was specifically about her, but the confession was highly inappropriate and unprofessional regardless, especially given that she had been sending him hours of unedited footage for his work. Despite the incident, Pokimane continued to pay the editor for a few months, viewing his behavior as an addiction problem. But eventually she realized the gravity of the situation and completely terminated the working relationship. The story quickly went viral, with other female or women-identifying streamers admitting that they too had experienced the same kind of harassment, and that it was commonplace in just about all aspects of streaming.
See, that's the thing as well, because a lot of it, I won't say any names, but a lot of them are female Twitchers or streamers, and I'm like, they always talk about editors, and I'm like, you have to be careful as well. You know, if you know the editor personally, you know where they live and all that sort of shit, then fine. You know, you've been around their house or whatever. But yeah, I'd still be careful. You know, there's also, it's like, you get some channels, they have videos of clips that make them look incriminating. Did that channel create that clip, or did your editor do it? You know what I mean? I'd just say, you know, let's, of course, if you know it deep down your gut, if you can swear on someone's grave that you can trust them, then fine. But yeah, but like I said, I mean, I know some channels that I follow and subscribe to and member to, they do have editors, but they do sometimes edit their own stuff, which is good. Obviously, because some of them have got families, etc. But yeah, I just find that it just irks me a little bit. That's all. Because it's like, especially if someone's paying you money to make content, at least put some work into yourself. You know what I mean? Just not. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Your fellow Arab. Addison Pierre Malouf, also known as Your Fellow Arab, is a YouTube personality who is famous for going to the most dangerous places in the world and filming his experiences there. Pretty much everywhere he's gone, he's been held at gunpoint or worse. But one of the most alarming live stream experiences came in Miami. Arab wasn't in the most dangerous place he had ever been. Nigeria was intense and Brazil was pretty dangerous. But Florida, by comparison, should be fairly easy. But while he was streaming in a park, he settled down next to a random guy who wanted money for drugs. Arab told him he had no money and that he was tired of being disrespected by a stranger, but that's when everything took a turn. The guy started telling him that he was a gang member who was willing to kill anybody who crossed his path, and pulled out a gun to prove it. Sensing the danger, Arab quickly got up and fled the scene, even as the guy kept screaming at him. Again, this was not the most dangerous place he had ever been. This was Florida. But even he knew when to leave trouble alone. Carl Reimer. It was March 2020, and Carl Reimer was streaming Call of Duty to his 100,000 Twitch followers while drinking. At one point, one of his followers had made some kind of joke, prompting Carl to grab a gun and jokingly threaten the viewer. But in doing so, he accidentally pulled the trigger, discharging the gun, which had one live round inside. The bullet tore through a metal cup, ricocheted, and destroyed his computer monitor. Nobody was hurt, thankfully, but Carl knew he would face consequences for this.
If this got reported, I hope to God they took away his gun, because seriously, if you're going to be a numpty with a firearm, you shouldn't be having a firearm. Now, regardless of what people think or want, etc., the one country, there's actually two countries I can think of that have a better solution for it. And I think if you, because I know America, you love your guns, right? There's no, and all I can say to you is this: I'm not speaking for or against, but it does come across a bit crazy to the rest of the world, okay? But and it's Switzerland, because Switzerland, people go, Switzerland hasn't got an army. The whole population's an army. In their woodshed, they've got assault rifles, you name it. But here's the thing: in Japan looks peaceful as F, doesn't it? They have firearms in Japan. Thing is, though, just like Sweden, you have to, well, it's slightly different. It's not Sweden, sorry, Switzerland. In Switzerland, you actually have to go through military training with a proper qualified military instructor or something, something big like that. Like you would say a driving test. To see if you can handle it safely, if you're mentally stable enough to own one. And, when you go through this process, I mean, they don't even take it out far. It might go down to the range, who knows? I don't know. But most of the time, they're locked up in a cupboard, gathering dust. But allowed to have them because they've been through a rigorous process. In Japan, it's similar. You have to go through tests and various other things to check, especially mental health tests, to make sure you're comptus mentis before you can actually have a gun. And I think any country that has firearms or allows firearms should put you through that same test, because it'll stop you being stupid like that. Because the thing is, imagine if his girlfriend was just chilling there on her phone, Instagram, he was like, ha, boom. This is why people get shot. Apart from psychos, people get shot because of idiots. Or idiots themselves get hurt. You know what I mean? And I think any country that, if you want to keep the guns, fine. But I reckon they should have strict things. And not only that, to be fair, for all you Call of Duty fans, or if you're into the, if there's certain things that are up your street, how you'll be literally going through similar training. If you go, just imagine how fun it is to go for a training exercise. Yeah, wouldn't that be worth it? Because some people go, "Oh, I love Rambo films. Look, that's why I got the AR and all that." For however long the course is, you get to be like Rambo. You get to field strip things blindfolded, shit like that. You get to do cool shit. So why not have that in that? You know what I mean? Why not go for it? You know what I mean? So, and not only that, think of the accomplishment that you get from, like, when people pass their exams or they pass a test, whether it be like an educational thing or a driver's test. The thrill, the pride that you have of completing that. Imagine, if you're in a country that has guns and you went for the same sort of test, you'd be like, fucking hell, I can take an M16 apart blindfolded. I've got a certificate here by a military instructor or whatever saying that I am fully qualified and safe, etc. You can have that as a badge of bloody honour, right? You know what I mean? And thing is, I also think it'll keep countries safer. If you seriously do want to keep firearms, I reckon that's the right direction to go. That's where it's fair, innit? Because at the end of the day, to be fair, it is like getting to a car, innit? It may not seem as like a firearm, but it's like that. If you don't know what you're doing in a car, you could hurt someone. Yeah. So if you got to take a test to be qualified or judged safe enough to drive a car, then it should be the same for firearms. So I reckon what they ever do in Switzerland and Japan, they should do in countries like America. And I think you'll find, one, you can still keep your guns, and two, there'll be less shootings. Ta-da! It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. But I don't condone or whatever guns. You mean? It's like, it's your own choice, your own vote, it's your own country, whatever. But I'm just thinking, it's like if you want to meet people halfway, it's like, I want to keep my my bunker in the back of my yard. Then fine, but you know what I mean. And I think but seriously, idiots like, you know what I mean. Hey, stop sorry.
Almost immediately, Twitch suspended his account, and his esports team, Soar Gaming, immediately dropped him from the squad. Carl came back to post an apology video acknowledging his mistake and taking full responsibility for his actions, making it clear that guns are not toys and should never be handled irresponsibly, especially while intoxicated like he was.
It took him to fuck up there for it. That's the thing you see. You shouldn't be in a position to F up, you mean, to begin with. That's why when you hear stories of people who are responsible, because I've seen documentaries. Actually, there's one school, I can't remember. It's a celebrity who went to the school, and they do sell guns that we don't really need in America. I mean, the point is, the other thing is, whilst I'm not for or against, it's kind of like there's no point. Yes, there's an amendment that says you can be assured to defend yourself. The thing is, the idea of that is to defend yourself not against your fellow man, but to get towards tyrants or something like that, right? But the thing is, this day and age, you're outgunned and outmatched. There's no point, mate. You know what I mean? It's like if you got this dictatorship and control your country, they've got tanks, drones, you're outgunned. Sorry, so it's a bit too late now. It's a bit outdated, to be fair. You're outgunned. I mean, fine, go down fighting, but you know, if that's your attitude. But I mean, seriously, it's not. Yeah. Anyway, it's a different conversation topic. But you know what I mean. But it shouldn't be put in a position where. So anyway, but this school that sold, this place that sold things, they would test you themselves. It was like a gun club would. They won't sell you anything until they knew you were responsible. So you go to their range and all that kind of stuff, and also, so you get your own locking cabinet. They get really secure, like maximum, like fingerprint, ident things for your hand. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? But it should be never put in a position where people make mistakes like this or any other position. You know what I mean? Sorry.
The damage was done, and while many of his followers applauded him for taking responsibility for his own stupidity, it was too late to undo it. He had already lost many of the streaming collaborations he had worked so hard to
surprised the neighbors didn't
achieve.
Find
iShowSpeed swatted. It was November 2023, and iShowSpeed was celebrating the purchase of his new $10 million home with a fun Fortnite stream to his over 10 million subscribers. But then everything took a very sudden and abrupt turn, all thanks to his followers. iShowSpeed quickly and suddenly left his streaming setup, telling his followers that he had to step away for his own safety. Suddenly, the room was full of armed police officers, and that was when everybody realized what was going on. He had been swatted again. Just a year earlier, iShowSpeed had been swatted and handcuffed on stream, all because someone online decided to call in a fake emergency call to get as many police to his new house as possible. The situation was so terrifying to Speed that he took to Snapchat to express his frustration, warning viewers about how dangerous the whole thing was and how close he came to dying. He begged his followers to stop the whole thing and to think of the streamers, their families, and their well-being. But, of course, streamers continue to be victims of this horrifying pattern. Car snob, car crash. In December 2020...
That was mentioned in the last video, but... Except the difference was the streamer was asked to make a phone call. Oh, that's it. The other one I reacted to that got botched is they dared him to phone up the police and say that he was being in danger or something, and then they stormed his house and he nearly got shot. It's like mental.
24, a kick streamer named Car Snob was doing an IRL stream from inside his car. But while he was stationary in his vehicle, another car approached from behind and rear-ended him in a pretty serious accident. Now, for most people, they would immediately be concerned about the other person's well-being or worried about the damage that could have been caused. But instead, Car Snob's instant reaction was to urge his followers to clip it.
Wow, that's a clip! Clip it! Clip it! That dude was rolling! Oh my god, clip it!
So he could use it for his social media. The broadcast continued after that, with the streamer constantly expressing his excitement that it got caught on camera. He was upset about the damage, of course, noting that his rear window was damaged and his car likely totaled, but he didn't seem to care about any of that, only that it was captured for the world to see. The footage quickly went viral, with many viewers expressing total disbelief that Car Snob was so much more concerned about getting it clipped than actually paying attention or checking on the other person. Of course, some people pointed out that the footage would be valuable when it came to claiming insurance, as it would prove that Car Snob didn't actually cause the incident. It didn't reflect particularly well on him, however. Level 3. Raydempto gets choked. It was February 13th, 2022, and Raydempto was doing an IRL stream in Amsterdam. These streams were the most popular things he did on his channel, but he had something of a history of encountering some pretty awful people willing to harass and assault him on stream. Today, however, was worse. Walking through downtown Amsterdam, the streamer was approached by a clearly intoxicated man who suddenly grabbed him by the throat and told the followers that he was going to kill the streamer. He choked Raydempto until he lost consciousness, and while the stream continued, all the followers could see was a black screen and the concern of their fellow viewers.
Fucking hell.
It was one of the most horrifying things they had ever witnessed. The next day, Raydempto updated his fans that he was safe, but that he had hit his head and was planning to file a police report. Fortunately, Raydempto managed to get a clear shot of the attacker's face on stream. Within a few hours, the attacker, a 20-year-old, was located and arrested for assault. But this is far from the only incident Raydempto has ever suffered. Summit 1G Pokemon Park swatting. It was July 2016, and Twitch streamer Summit 1G was live streaming the biggest game of the moment, Pokemon Go. He had headed to a local public park to try and capture the Pokemon there when someone in the comments posted a pretty concerning comment. Police were in the park searching for someone with an AK-47. Nobody really thought anything of the claim until just moments later, armed officers suddenly appeared approaching Summit and his friend with their rifles drawn. They had received a false report of an armed individual in the park that matched their descriptions. They had been swatted. Summit handled the situation calmly and reasonably, cooperating fully with the police and their instructions. But he was always aware that they had their weapons trained on the pair from various positions. As they were ordered to walk backward toward police, the stream went dead. Later that afternoon, Summit posted to Twitter informing his followers that everything was just fine. The police had been friendly enough and understood the situation. But since then, Summit has been swatted many more times, even coming to describe himself as the most swatted streamer on Twitch. It's a title that has forced him to relocate his family members multiple times, something that continues to frustrate him. Dr. Disrespect's house shooting. It was September 2018, and Guy, Dr. Disrespect Beam, was streaming Call of Duty Black Ops 4 from the comfort of his California home, but he suddenly heard a strange noise coming from outside. When he suddenly left his chair to investigate the noise, he found the terrifying source of the noise. Someone had shot at his house, breaking the upstairs window while his family was at home, and he had to immediately end the stream. In fact, this was the second incident in 2 days involving someone shooting out one of his windows. Just days earlier, someone had shot the window of his car, leaving him with a distinct impression that someone wanted him dead. The San Diego Sheriff's Department later clarified that someone had fired a BB gun at the house, not a real weapon. But the force required to shadow a window is pretty intense, so it's safe to say that even that did not bring comfort to Guy. And the authorities had no idea who actually fired the weapon. All they knew was that the shots likely came from a nearby park. They had no idea of potential suspects, and they didn't even believe that Guy was being targeted because of his internet fame. When he returned, he assured everyone that he was just fine, but unwilling to discuss the situation further. Sarah Kate's cat. In September 2014, Twitch streamer Sarah Kate was in the middle of a Black Ops 2 stream when she decided to take a break from gaming. She reached for her beloved cat Olive, who had been perched on the back of her chair. But something suddenly changed inside the cat. Olive lashed out for no particular reason, scratching Sarah with full claws and catching her eye in the process. The injury was caught on camera, and it was so bloody and severe that her followers were seriously concerned. Sarah did not hesitate to end the stream and rushed to the hospital for treatment, but it turned out that she got very lucky. Sarah had been wearing contact lenses, which may have well prevented more serious damage to her cornea. But Olive had managed to scratch both her eyeball and the surrounding lid, causing quite a bit of damage. However, the medical experts assured her that she would make a full and healthy recovery within a few weeks. The video quickly went viral, bringing a lot of new attention to Sarah and her cat, and prompting her to start selling merch based on the incident. Within 2 years, Sarah had been fully recovered enough that she could look back on the whole thing from a more comfortable and far less scary perspective. Arab Andy. It was June 2018, and a YouTube prankster known as Arab Andy wanted to perform his biggest stunt yet, pranking the University of Washington. He came up with this whole elaborate plan that would scare everybody and guarantee the video to go viral. He walked into a classroom during an end-of-year reception carrying a phone and a speaker. Raising it into the air, he played a message stating that a bomb had been activated and a countdown had begun.
C4 has been successfully activated. Bomb detonation countdown successfully started.
Everyone in the building had only a short space of time to escape before they would be killed. The 30 people present freaked out exactly as Andy had planned. They desperately fled the room, activating the fire alarm in the process. The university took the threat deadly seriously, evacuating several nearby buildings as a precaution. But all of this was fake. Andy had begun the prank entirely because a viewer donated $4.20. And even after all of the chaos was unfolding on campus, he continued to live stream people's terrified reactions to his prank in total amusement and satisfaction. University of Washington police did not find it funny. They quickly tracked him down and arrested him, charging him with the crime of making a bomb threat. There was never an actual bomb, but the incident caused significant distress and disruption to faculty and students. Andy quickly faced the consequences of such a foolish prank. A judge set his bail at $75,000, ordering him to stay off YouTube before the trial. He was ultimately sentenced to 2 years in jail.
Fucking hell.
Angel Walks. 23-year-old Army veteran and Twitch streamer Angel Walks was taking part in a live Call of Duty Warzone tournament in July 2020 when he suddenly heard a series of loud bangs and screams outside of his bedroom. Knowing that something was strange about the whole situation, he paused his stream. Viewers had no idea, but Angel had just discovered that his brother Roberto had just been found unresponsive in his room. Knowing that it would be wrong to even try and go ahead with the stream, given the tragedy happening in the next room, Angel had to tell the truth. Returning to the stream, Angel told his viewers that his brother had died and that he had to leave right away. It was later revealed that Roberto had died of an overdose, but the worst was yet to come.
Oh, God.
Angel and his family started encountering a series of unexpected challenges in their efforts to honor
I might have to put a warning on this video.
Roberto's life. The funeral costs were far higher than anybody knew they would be, forcing Angel to turn to his streaming community for help in funding them. The gaming community he had built quickly rallied around him, exceeding his fundraising goal in their support. Sajidine robbed on stream.
Man, that's got to be horrible. Because it sounds like someone's getting hurt. So it's like, fucking hell.
Nikki Elise, also known as Sajidine, was 17 years old when she had her most dramatic stream yet. She was streaming Dota 2 on Twitch from her Arizona home when she suddenly heard a disturbance coming from the next room. Confused and
Yeah. Oops, sorry, I had to quickly grab something. Sorry.
Concerned, she quickly left her streaming setup to figure out what was going on. But when she left the room, the viewers heard those words, "On the ground now." Within minutes, an armed man entered Sajadine's room in full view of her followers watching from around the world. The guy took out a bunch of items which seemed to be weapons before turning off the lights and disconnecting the camera, bringing the stream to a very abrupt end. The robbery had been witnessed by one of Sajadine's close real-life friends who immediately contacted the police and gave them the address of her home. When the officers arrived, they discovered that there were 2 robbers stealing her personal firearms, her computer, and other valuables. They managed to chase and arrest one, but the other remains at large even to this day. As a consequence of this tragic event, Sajadine's channel was shut down by Twitch due to terms of service violations, despite the fact that she was the victim of the attack. I'm Jasmine harassed. It was September 2020, and I'm Jasmine, a popular Twitch streamer, was in Osaka, Japan for an IRL stream. She, like many other streamers, believed that the country was one of the safest places for tourists. But, of course, female streamers continue to have complicated experiences when doing IRL streams, and she just happened to join that very unfortunate club. Jasmine was exploring the city, interacting with locals, and creating content in a place she had never experienced before. But just about everywhere that she went, she started to experience some very unwanted attention. At one point, a total stranger walked right up to her, groped her waist, and poked at her breasts. Nothing she could do would get rid of him. All she could do was just start walking and hope to eventually lose him. Of course, he followed her for several blocks before eventually giving up entirely. Her followers were urging her to get out of the situation and to keep walking, but even after the assault, Jasmine could not bring herself to go to the authorities, knowing that Japan's police are ineffective and often choose not to pursue these cases, blaming the women instead of those responsible. Level 4. Wreckful's last stream.
Way more scary than Ghost.
It was July 2nd, 2020, and Byron Wreckful Bernstein was ending his stream. He seemed kind of different, expressing a mix of hope and despair about how things were going. He urged his viewers to connect with one another and to find friends to play games with. A very unusual ending for him.
Alright, chat. I hope you guys had a nice day. I'm gonna go offline. I guess I'll try to find something to watch for a tiny bit before I pass out.
He also said that he was feeling lonely and that he wanted his fans to support one another.
If you guys get lonely, you should talk to each other, maybe, and find some friends to play games with when you play games.
Everything was just extremely strange for the viewers. Everybody who had followed Wreckful knew about all his struggles and battles with depression, but nobody really thought that he was still struggling with it. They thought he had somehow overcome that hurdle, or at the very least, was managing with it.
Goodbye, everybody. Yeah, I mean each other, yeah, in chat. Because there are probably a lot of like-minded people in the chat at this moment, you know? Have a good night. See you guys tomorrow. Or the next day.
But shortly after the stream, Wreckful ended his own life.
Oh, fuck.
Shocking the gaming community, who realized that this was the very last stream they would ever see from him. Suddenly, his final words had a much deeper meaning than anybody had really assumed at the time. He was not just thinking aloud, he was urging people to take care of one another in the way he wished he had been taken care of. The gaming world mourned the loss of not just a skilled player, but a genuine personality who would be deeply missed by the community he built. On his channel, in the days after his death, fans gathered to re-watch the old streams, bonding in their shared grief. Elisa Jordana. In April 2024, Elisa Jordana, a former Howard Stern show writer, went live on YouTube in a stream she had titled, Not Doing Good. Elisa had been struggling in her private life, discovering that her boyfriend, Bahram Alipur, was cheating on her. He had been sending money to other women, something that she had found actual evidence of, and now she was going to confront him in front of the world. They were driving in Palm Beach, Florida when Eliza went live, but after she accused him of cheating, the whole situation turned pretty horrifically. Unhappy with his excuses and lies, Eliza started hitting Barham.
Don't talk. Don't talk.
Who quickly retaliated with much more force. Unfortunately for both of them, they were captured on Eliza's viral live stream, meaning that authorities had all the evidence that they needed. She was quickly arrested on felony battery charges, something she pleaded guilty to since they had the video evidence. But while Eliza was publicly willing to express remorse for her actions, she continued to point out that her now ex-boyfriend had behaved in the same abusive way, and that she never would have hit him had he not cheated. Of course, none of this changed anything, with many of the viewers suggesting that both of them were as bad as one another. Ellie Gatto. It was
Yeah, I mean, he could have been. Well, I know it's hard to say because we do things in fits of rage, but yeah, he could have been a better person and did nothing. You know what I mean, not hit her back with her.
Halloween in Shibuya, Japan, and an Australian IRL streamer named Ellie Gatto was broadcasting her daily life around the holidays. But as Ellie Gatto and her friend were exploring the spooky new vibe of Tokyo's brightest district, viewers noticed something odd. A strange man was following them carrying a big Japanese sword, a katana.
Fucking hell.
Initially, it was assumed that he was in costume or just doing something Halloween-y, but at a certain point, even Ellie Gatto and her friend became aware that they were being followed. No matter where they went, whichever weird, chaotic escape route they took, he was there. He would not leave them alone. The audience was watching them get more and more anxious as the tension got more and more intense, with multiple other men touching them inappropriately along the way.
Fucking hell.
Eventually, a good Samaritan saw how distressed they were and jumped in to help them get to safety in the form of the police. The police quickly arrested the guy before the situation could escalate anymore. But the trauma of the whole thing had taken a toll. Ellie Gatto and her friend were fully aware of how close they came to potentially losing their lives because of this guy. And their survival was all thanks to this one good guy. Streamer shot by security. Zoe Perez is a transgender YouTuber who conducts First Amendment audits, streams in public places to test constitutional rights. But her stream on February 14th, 2019 took an unusually violent turn.
Oh, God.
Zoe had arrived at a Los Angeles synagogue hoping to test out her so-called constitutional rights. For 40 minutes, she live-streamed the security guard, part of her usual stream activity. But he was aggravated by this whole thing. The guard had asked her several times to stop filming him and let him do his job, but she refused. As tensions rose, he got increasingly agitated, threatening to shoot her if she even attempted to approach the door. So what did she do? Eventually, the guard fired his weapon, grazing her leg, and the whole thing was caught on camera and posted to her YouTube channel. The guard was arrested on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon, but the prosecutors simply could not rule out self-defense. There had been so many anti-Semitic incidents at that time that Zoe's all-black attire and backpack could conceivably have been seen as intimidating or threatening.
What the fuck? Yeah, but... that's bullshit there, because you still wouldn't... Not being funny, you still wouldn't put out a fucking gun, would you? It's like, if they had a gun, then fair enough. But it's like, seriously, a bit extreme. It's like, even with like our police with tasers, not because it's only, it's only like an immediate danger. But
Zoe went on to file a lawsuit against the guard, the synagogue, and the school, alleging assault, false imprisonment, negligence, and discrimination. Ice Poseidon's bomb threat. On April 28, 2017, Ice Poseidon was live streaming from LAX while waiting for his flight. But while talking to his followers, he happened to make a fatal mistake. He accidentally broadcast his flight information to the entire internet. One viewer who happened to see it decided to take advantage of the situation, calling in a fake bomb threat under his real name, Paul Danino, on the very plane he was currently flying on. By the time the flight landed in Phoenix, ICE was escorted off the plane and immediately interrogated by the FBI, creating an incident that made national headlines across the U.S. ICE had to reach out to Twitch to ask about the situation. Because he had been swatted in a pretty extreme way, he was concerned that he would be banned or suspended because of it, despite it not happening on his stream, or it being his fault. Twitch assured him that they would not ban him for the incident, though they did later decide to permanently ban him from the platform, causing major outrage in the community who argued that the whole thing was thoroughly unjustified. Eventually, ICE had no choice but to abandon Twitch entirely and move to YouTube, where his streaming gained him a substantial following. And as for the person who called in the fake bomb threat, he was eventually caught and sentenced to...
Well then, that was... fucking hell. Abysmal Detective. Just to let you know, it cut abruptly for some reason. I don't know why, because according to this, I don't have to. If it keeps doing this, then I'll have to find out if there's I'll have to contact the service team. But I noticed that it didn't record the whole stream. You know, the whole video I did made was from Stream Guru. So it only caught. It didn't get to the end of it, so. I do apologise if it's suddenly cut off there. But yeah, fucking hell. All I can say is it got worse. It gets more sick. But yeah, I'll try and react to... What I'm going to do is I'm going to try reacting with shorter videos, see if that works. I'm not sure if there's a limit. I mean, I don't think so, because I've recorded... and I know I talked a bit, but it's kind of like... to be fair, though, I've recorded videos that are, an hour and 50 minutes. Because, well, not because I've been talking, but because of, like, compilation videos that are that long. So I don't know why I ain't recording the whole thing properly. But anyway, so yeah, fucking anyway. Yeah, what I say is it got worse. The stories got worse. So, yeah, anyway. But if you, well... say enjoyed, obviously not because it's quite horrific stories, but if you made it as far, then please hit the like, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Like I said, sorry it cut off there shorter than it did, whatever it was, at the point it was, because I went to check, always check to see if it recorded at the end, and then it was, it didn't, obviously, so it got quite a big chunk of it though, so it's alright. It's saying it's just 2 stories missing. But that's annoying, so I'll have to keep my eye on that and hope it doesn't keep doing it. Otherwise, I'll have to contact the developers and ask them why that's doing that. Because if you look, I'm not sure if it's on the bit I've got already, but I did check see if it's still recording, and it was. So anyway, so I do apologise for that happening. But yeah, sick of it. Just goes to show, like I said there, it just goes to show that people are more scary than ghosts. But anyway, so yeah. So anyway, so next video, I'm not sure. I'll go back to one of our ghosty ones, but yeah. But yeah, it's a good channel though. It's a good channel. But like I said, for some reason it just glitched. It didn't work. It didn't record the last few minutes, or whatever. Last couple of stories. But yeah, it got fucking worse. I think there's one guy got caught on stream or something like that, and yeah. Anyway, so there's no point in me going back to try and fix it or re-record that bit, because I've already seen it. I mean, but yeah, like I said, I'm going to keep an eye on it, and if it keeps doing it next couple of recordings or so, then I'm going to have to contact the developers and see what's happened. But hopefully you've got enough idea of what the channel's like, sorry, that I reacted to. And yeah, so anyway, with the horrific stories aside, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching with me, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care, be well.